Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing history in the making right now. This is CWI's first live stream from the Canyon County campus. And on behalf of the entire crew here, thank you so much for tuning in. It is an honor to have you. Good morning. My name is Corey Kwan, and welcome to the Global Idaho Live Show. This Global Idaho production has been put on by COM261 Multimedia Storytelling. And our mission with Global Idaho is to create a place where people can learn more about refugee issues, find opportunities to help, and provide a platform where refugees can tell their stories. Now, you've probably heard the term refugee before, but do you know what it means? A refugee is somebody who has fled their country due to war, conflict, violence, or even persecution, and has found safety in another country. Now, TWI has several refugee students, and they come from around 6 different countries. And a few weeks ago, I had the amazing opportunity to interview such a student. Her name is Safana Salman, and what I expected to be a 30-minute turned out to be a 2-hour-long conversation. And while we were talking, she said some very notable things about her American experience. Here's a clip of that.
Georgia was totally a different experience than Idaho, and I think that's why we stayed here for, we're still here. We haven't moved, we haven't found another state that's as safe as this one. It was okay, so it's the little things. Do you know when you're walking and then people smile at you? We're whoa, these people are way nicer. I feel like the teaching here was better than over there because I learned things way faster. I don't know how. In a year, I knew how to speak English. And I still think that's crazy because I took a year of French and I learned nothing. George.
And you can watch the full 5-minute interview on our website. But before I tell you where you can find this website, let me just wind back just a little bit and give you some context about what we did as a class. So our class, COM261, each semester has, our projects are centered around a central theme that's based on an issue. And this theme this semester was welcoming refugees at CWI. And what we do as a class throughout the semester is create the website and then create content to go on that website. And it's a huge, don't get me wrong, this is a very big project. And so the first thing that we did was we elected amongst ourselves Maddie Gentry as our executive producer, and she's going to tell you more about the website. Maddie, take it away.
Thank you, Corey. I'd first like to give a big thank you to Zach, our website builder. He worked with our class remotely and created our website throughout the semester. While I'm sure this was sometimes lonely work, he persevered and participated with us any chance he got. And now I'd like to show you the beautiful website that he created and the content that we have all worked so hard to create. Up at the top, we have their journey, which features a Spotify playlist with music from around the world to help you become more culturally involved. We also have 5 interviews with refugees here at CWI sharing their story with us. Again, at the top, we have Get Involved, which gives you information on how you can get involved locally as well as through CWI. In Get Informed, we have information that helps you become more culturally competent and inclusive, as well as a World Relief retiree sharing her experience and some advice with us. And now I'd like to give you another piece of history. For the first time ever, we've had a second section of Multimedia Storytelling, and they have shared their website with us here today. The Hidden Gems of the Gem State have created a website. Here I'd like to show you 2 awesome videos that they've created entirely, showing the history of refugees in Idaho, as well as the process of moving to Idaho as a refugee. And now for a third piece of history, we've, for the first time ever, had the Communication and Culture class join us. Their work is featured on the Global Idaho website in Get Involved and Get Informed. Now let's hear from their professor, Julia Bennett.
COM 160, what is it supposed to do?
COM 160 is it's a required elective that's part of a menu of classes that look at global understanding and competency. And so there are classes in almost every discipline, in English and in foreign languages and in arts and in the sciences as well. And this particular class looks at communication and culture. And so what we look at is specifically how to be a competent cultural communicator. This particular section has really focused on different co-cultures, meaning a co-culture is any culture that exists within a culture. And it can include cultural regulators like religion or gender or race. And so we've talked about all of those things as they intersect with identity and how we communicate with each other. And just by learning to understand each other's perspective of the world and how we communicate within that perspective, we can gain better understanding to become better communicators across cultures.
Thank you, Maddie. So we were not the only class to produce content for Global Idaho. No, we had our friends over at Boise State helping us out with this project. They did not produce just one, no, they produced 2 shows. They produced a cooking show, and they also produced a game show over Zoom. Here's a clip of that.
True or false? Boise's popular yearly music festival in March is called the Forest Watch Festival. Time starts now.
That's true. First West, yeah.
Nope, it is not the Forest Watch Festival. Carissa, what is it called?
It is called Tree Forest.
Oh my
Tree
God!
Forest.
I do that every year. Oh, I'm embarrassed with this.
Ooh.
I'm so embarrassed with this. Oh my God! I should be ashamed of myself. Are you kidding me?
No.
I literally go there every year. You know, I have a friend who performs there.
Oh wow.
This is like, are you serious right now? Like, oh my God. Oh boy, are you serious?
And you can watch more of that on globalidaho.com. Now, I'm so excited for this segment of our show. This is the live interview segment where joining me in the studio today, I have the fantastic Panta Arzamgin Hagigi. Hello, how's it going?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. So tell me about yourself.
That is a good question. So I've pretty much been living in Idaho since I was born. I'm definitely a potato-grown Idaho girl, and I've been pretty much just trying to understand the culture of Idaho and understanding the culture of my mother and father because they were immigrants from Iran.
Okay, so tell me more about your CWI experience. How was it like this semester?
Man, that is an absolute doozy. For me, it was really hard at first, trying to rearrange my classes and getting things done. But in the end, the people that helped me throughout my journey, especially the admins and Miss Teresa, they generally helped me figure out what I need to improve on myself, but also how to handle things in a proper manner.
Awesome. I'm so sorry, I forgot to include this, but we're classmates. And not only were you a classmate in multimedia storytelling, but you're also kind of like a sister classmate through video production, COM 269.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so how was that?
Honestly, those 2 classes and another class, they really kicked me in the pants of actually being not just social by talking, being social with communicating and working with teams, because I have always been that kind of individual that's like, oh, I'll get this done by my own. No, I was forced to work with other people, and I thought I was good. That was a lie, obviously, when I started doing those classes. But in general, I started to understand that there's a difference of talking and communicating with your teammates, and that one person can't do the job alone, especially this kind of stuff.
Awesome. So kind of rewinding, you are the child of immigrants, yes?
Yes, I am.
So tell me, how was that like for you growing up and even now?
At first, it was actually pretty difficult. When Idaho didn't have a lot of diversity, in my opinion, at least almost, 10, 12 years ago. I remember in first grade that kids wouldn't talk to me because I knew Farsi, and I actually only would speak Farsi with my family at home. I did know English, but I was a lot more comfortable with Farsi. But when kids realized I was different, they tend to avoid me, and so I started to understand that throughout the years, that really showing that side of my culture and who I am, I felt like it wasn't needed, and that it was actually maybe even worse for me because people didn't want to understand that part side of me. Until I actually met an individual named Miss Gatfield. She was my high school teacher, And one time she looked at me and she's like, Ponta, I read your essays, but you never bring anything about your other side of your culture, like being a Persian. And I look at her and I said, well, what does that matter? I really don't see that much of a uniqueness to it. And she says, well, Ponta, well, you speak a different language, right? And I said, yes. And she says, well, you also know the culture there as well, don't you? Another perspective. And I said, well, yes, but where is this going? And she says, well, Ponta, you don't need to oppress that side of you and be afraid that what other people think, because not only will it help you just accept who you are and where your origins are from, but maybe it can help people feel comfortable of who they are. So I started thinking about it and I was like, nah, that's not it. So a few years later, I start to like develop this connection with the side of like the Persian culture and, you know, the American culture. And honestly, my mom was a huge help. She said, like, always understand that being an American is an honor, but it's also an honor of understanding your other side, where your origins were from. So I started taking it literally, and I was like, well, I went through a lot of things that, not to an extent, because of like my origins and when people realized where my family are from and like the other culture I had, it made me realize that I wanted to help people that were different, especially people that were foreign. So when I took this class, media story, oh my goodness, the media class, yeah. I was pretty much a person that was considered like an ambassador and that I should go talk to people. I definitely know that I'm a person that chats a lot. I love chatting. You can't even shut me up most times. And so I was told to kind of be an interviewer with these certain people and handling with refugees. So I had to join an international club, which is lovely, by the way. Definitely was great, it was fun, I'm still in it. And they gave me connections of talking to refugees. At first, I was like, well, I don't want them to think that it's just for the story. I just want to snatch their story because of a grade. No, I definitely had good intentions of, I want to know their story and I want them to feel comfortable. And when I spoke to Renee Hodge, it felt like I was kind of going back into the past, but with somebody who knew the struggles of being a refugee or even an immigrant, and understanding that these people go through so much, like how my family used to, and we weren't even refugees, we were immigrants, and trying to just blend in and not have people feel like we're making them uncomfortable of like, because we have a different culture and, you know, we have a few different like nicks to our living, our lifestyle in Idaho or in America in general. I started to understand that these people are definitely not just titles. They're not just refugees. They're people, they went through a lot, and hearing their struggles and feeling that they are oppressed because of how they dress or how they speak and how they might be seen as like just really people who can't even help their own. It's hard to be in a different country because I start to think about it, even though I know Farsi, I definitely don't know all the culture of Iran. I don't know how it's run. It's a beautiful country, by the way, let me just say, wonderful people. But as a person myself, I definitely know that I can't fully blend as an Iranian. Even though I know the language and I know most of like the culture aspect, you're gonna always feel different. But there's a way that you can see, and what you can see is that at least with these refugees that are coming to America, we can at least give them a safe space. Like as an example, CWI, they tell me that they feel a lot more comfortable and that they have tutors that would love to help them. Even the teachers, they would like keep them at the end of class to just like go through like the curriculum just to make sure that they understand, and like students that are willing to help, which I think that's beautiful. And when I think about it, I was like, they're kind of like the future Miss Gatfield. Because if Miss Gatfield didn't tell me to think more about my culture and be more open about who I am, I wouldn't be here. Honest to God, I wouldn't really be here. because that's a huge shift that changed my life forever.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing. All right, so now I'm going to announce the winner of the film fight. Now, so our video production class, at the very end of the semester, we have this thing called a film fight. And what the film fight is the students are paired off into groups of 3 or 4, and then they're supposed to make a film within 2 weeks. And the parameters of the film are you have to have a line, a prop, and a theme that's centered around. The prop this year was a puzzle piece, and the line was it must be cleaned twice a week. And now I'm going to announce the winner of the film fight. Thank you very much. With this very official envelope. The winner is Pontus Group. Congratulations.
That caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
I really wish my team won, but that's just me. All right. Well, that concludes the CWI's Global Idaho live show. Again, you can check out more of our content on globalidaho.com. Again, thank you so much for coming. My name is Corey Kwan, signing off.